Imagine crossing the North Sea or the North Atlantic in the middle of winter with no land in sight, no precise maps, and no modern compasses. For the Vikings, this was routine. Between the 8th and 11th centuries, these expeditions challenged not only the biting cold and violent storms, but also the very nature of the ocean, unpredictable and relentless. Each voyage carried the risk of shipwreck, loss of supplies, and even death itself. Yet they mastered these waters like no one else, exploring new lands such as Iceland, Greenland, and even Vinland in North America. Their secret was not just the strength of their ships, but a combination of knowledge, experience, and discipline. In this video, we'll reveal how the Vikings managed to survive the fiercest storms without sight of land, using only the sea, the sky, and their instincts to guide their ships safely through the unknown. Viking ships were the centerpiece of their survival at sea. The most famous, the Drakkar, combined lightness, speed, and stability, allowing small crews to cross oceans and face towering waves. The flexible hull, made of overlapping planks bound together with ropes, absorbed the impact of storms without breaking. This gave the ship incredible resilience against strong winds and treacherous currents. The stern rudder, a groundbreaking innovation of the time, allowed for precise maneuvers essential to prevent the Drakkar from crashing against rocks or running aground. Moreover, its narrow, elongated design provided speed and allowed Vikings to escape storms or enemy attacks. It wasn't just engineering, it was knowledge applied through practice, refined over generations. Each crew member knew exactly where to position themselves during waves and gusts, balancing the weight to keep the ship stable. This combination of intelligent design and human skill turned every Drakkar into a floating fortress, capable of withstanding conditions that few other ships of the era could endure. Without these vessels, the great Viking voyages and conquests would simply have been impossible. Without detailed maps or modern compasses, the Vikings relied on ingenious methods to avoid getting lost at sea. One of their main tools was the observation of the sun and stars. During the day, the position of the sun indicated direction. At night, constellations like the Big Dipper served as guides. On cloudy days, they could use the legendary sunstone, a calcite crystal capable of polarizing sunlight and revealing the sun's position even behind thick clouds. They also observed migratory birds and schools of fish, which indicated proximity to land or coastal currents. The patterns of the waves, ocean currents, and the movement of water around the hull also provided subtle clues about direction and speed. This combination of natural signs required experience and intense focus, turning every voyage into a practical lesson in navigation. More than instruments, the Vikings depended on instinct, training, and constant attention. This remarkable skill allowed them to cross unknown seas and reach distant lands, even under conditions that would make any modern sailor hesitate. Surviving in the North Atlantic and the North Sea, the Vikings faced not only waves and storms, but also an intense cold that could be deadly. The key to enduring these conditions was proper clothing, made from layers of wool, leather, and animal hides. Wool alone provided insulation against the wind and retained heat even when wet, while leather and furs added resistance to both wind and seawater. To improve waterproofing, they applied animal fat to coats and cloaks, creating a natural barrier against rain and sea spray. The multiple layers allowed them to adjust protection depending on the severity of the cold, keeping their bodies warm without restricting essential movements on deck. Leather boots lined with wool and reinforced gloves protected their hands and feet, preventing frostbite during long watch shifts or while handling the sails. More than mere clothing, this gear was an extension of survival itself. enabling the Vikings to withstand freezing nights and violent storms without losing efficiency or putting their lives at risk at sea. Surviving long voyages across the sea required more than sturdy ships and proper clothing. It demanded discipline, planning, and practical knowledge. The Vikings organized watch shifts to ensure someone was always alert to weather changes, dangerous waves, or signs of land. Each crew member had specific duties. Some handled the rudder and sails, others reinforced the hull or kept the deck secure. Quick repairs of torn sails and loose planks were essential, as even minor damage could turn into disaster during a storm. Food on board was also designed for endurance and practicality. Barley bread, salted fish, dried meat, and rainwater stored in barrels kept the crew active without overloading the ship with perishable supplies. To conserve energy, work was alternated with strategic rest periods, even under wind and rain. Life on deck required constant focus. Every movement had to be calculated to avoid falls, and balance was crucial as the ship rolled over massive waves. This combination of routines, techniques, and hands-on experience made such crossings possible even in merciless seas. Without these survival strategies, many Viking expeditions would never have reached new lands or returned alive. Viking history is not made of legends alone. Documented expeditions and sagas confirmed the skill of these seafarers. The colonization of Iceland in the late 9th century is a remarkable example. Entire families crossed treacherous seas, facing storms and unknown currents, establishing settlements that would last for centuries. Further north, Greenland was reached by Eric the Red, who braved freezing winds and ice-infested waters, relying solely on his knowledge of the sea and survival techniques refined over generations. Even more impressive was the voyage to Vinland in North America, led by Leif Erikson and his crew. This expedition is recorded in the sagas as an extraordinary achievement. They sailed without detailed maps, facing violent storms and treacherous currents, and reached unknown lands long before modern European navigators. The sagas also describe storms that tested the Vikings' physical and mental limits. But contrary to popular myth, they didn't survive by luck alone. Every maneuver, every sail adjustment, every reading of the sky and sea came from accumulated experience and constant observation. These historical accounts reveal that Viking courage was always united with knowledge and technique, allowing them to cross oceans that seemed impossible to conquer. Beyond sturdy ships, proper clothing, and navigation techniques, Viking survival depended on discipline, mental endurance, and teamwork. On the deck of a drakkar facing raging storms, every movement had to be precise. Any mistake could mean a fall or disaster for the entire crew. That's why Vikings trained from a young age to endure intense cold, extreme fatigue, and constant danger. Life aboard was highly organized. Crew members rotated through shifts of watchkeeping, ship maintenance, and sail control, ensuring no one became exhausted or inattentive. Teamwork was essential. Steering a ship through rough seas required perfect coordination among everyone. Every gesture, from the rower to the helmsman, was vital for collective safety. Experience gained from previous voyages was passed down from generation to generation. Veteran navigators taught the younger ones how to read the sky, the sea, and the behavior of the crew, forming confident and synchronized teams. This combination of discipline, knowledge, and courage turned extreme situations into manageable challenges. Without that mindset, no technical skill or ship design could guarantee survival in the icy, unpredictable waters of the North Atlantic. Without compasses, maps, or lighthouses, the Vikings mastered the sea through knowledge, discipline, and endurance. Every storm they faced, every towering wave they conquered, and every freezing night spent on deck proved that courage and experience were worth as much as physical strength. They turned the impossible into daily routine, sailing toward unknown lands and building settlements that changed history. And that is the true lesson of the Vikings. Survival and success depend on strategy, preparation, and teamwork, not merely on strength or luck. If you were fascinated by the skill of these navigators and want to uncover more epic secrets of warriors, explorers, and ancient civilizations, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you won't miss any videos. Each story is a journey into the past, showing how humanity faced extreme challenges with intelligence and courage.